Guys, we had some interesting results over the weekend. We had WGP Nagoya that gave us a lot of standard results, and it was actually a pretty big tournament. We had like 2 blocks for that, so that's pretty good to see. There's also like 1 VMC tournament for V, which will be pretty nice. But we'll kind of talk about that later. But first, let's talk about the WGP and what actually won. Now, we would think that it's just kind of just going to be Magnolia for days, right? For days. But guess what? There's not that many Magnolia. Actually, Graffiti World, or Media World, whatever you'd like to call it, popping up, taking first place in A block in Nagoya, which is quite interesting. We see a lot of people take Media World as one of their decks for set 4 in the West, but in the East, the pickup, or at least in Japan, the pickup has been mixed. I have to say, it has been kind of mixed, but now that with these big tournaments, Media World taking it, we're probably going to see a huge rise of this as the premier brand gate clan. Or archetype, right? So most of these builds now, you know, they've cut down on the normal media to like around 6 or 7. I personally like 7 a bit more. I like just like the extra media, because now you also have super media, which you have to factor in. So yeah, like super media just makes this deck infinitely better. But they're still running, like, some of these decks are still running these Eclipse Moonlights. So you know, just to have that early game going on. But because you have like the new Burrito and the new grade 2, it's all kind of, it's just a great deck now. It's just a great deck. You can choose between fronts or draws. It actually doesn't matter, because you have ways of kind of resetting your deck more than usual. So you can actually run the draws if you really want to, or you can just stick to the fronts, right? Why change something that just works? Yeah. Just this is also in like set 4 format, but remember in Japan they have Lyrical Monastery being released, so it's not just set 4 anymore. It's not just set 4, but Media World taking first place is pretty huge. Second place is actually Barrow Magnus. We've seen Barrow Magnus do very, very well overall, right? And it's still doing good. It's still doing good. This is kind of, we've seen, at least in the local scene, a lot more players playing a shooter, but here they're just going straight into the Quelgra, whatever you like to call them, the grade 2. And just very, very standard. Don't bother with the defense. Just go full out aggro and just finish the game, right? And then in third place, I have a Nirvana list here. This one is just running just your Maha Nirvana, not running the prayer build, just going for a much more consistent, although I have to say, I like the prayer build, guys. It's just really fun. But, you know, if you're going to a tournament, you want to run the consistent picks. This one is the much more consistent pick, running the Urges, and then you running the grade 1 support to actually get some good stuff. And then also actually just running the Dragon Egg. We've seen a lot of people cut out the Dragon Egg just to run the Trickstar lineup, just to go ham, but you know, you don't always get to go first, and you want to kind of stay a bit consistent, right? So this Nirvana coming in third place is quite interesting. And then lastly, last of the blocks was another Media World. This one only runs 6 for the OG Medias. But yeah, it is just straight up Media World, which is quite nice, right? Again, is Media World being the new top dog of Brandgate all the way in Japan. Looks like it. It's starting to look like it, right? Let's move on to the B block, yeah, and see what's been happening there. So first, we have actually a Kyrie deck. So this one is quite interesting. One thing of notice is that they're running 2 of the Whale order from the TD, which is quite interesting. It does require like a heavy CB cost, but bear in mind, this deck itself just doesn't use that much CB, right? Kyrie herself is just very, very simple in what she does. Very cost efficient, basically no cost, right? Literally just no cost. Just maybe the OG grade 3 one does require a Soul Blast when you want to bounce stuff back, but that's not a Counter Blast, right? That's not a Counter Blast. So half the time you're trying to figure out ways to use your Counter Blast, and one of the ways is like the Friend grade 2, which allows you to just, it's basically like an Allen except in Lyrical Monasterio. Just when you play, you can play another card down. You can see when play another card down and draw a card, right? So you're gonna play it anyway. Might as well just draw a card. And the other one is just this one where you like counterblast 1 when it comes to. I think it was like when it comes into play, you can counterblast 1 and then just like draw a card, which is that's cool. But apart from that, yeah, you actually just don't use that much counterblast. So the Whale, like running just like playing even just 1 Whale is just pretty nice, just to get the extra power. But yeah, Kyrie actually taking it all the way home, or Astius, as you'd like to call it, taking it all the way home over the other decks in set 4 is quite fascinating. Yeah. Then in second place, we actually have a Flagberg. All right, this is a Flagberg, not actually a Magnolia. You see Stoichea, you automatically think it's got to be Magnolia, but it's not. It's actually Flagberg coming in second place. It's strange. He's only running 3 in the pulse as well. Magnolia decks run 4 in the pulse. You'd think a Flagberg would already just run like 4 as well, because it's one of the easiest ways to enable like multi-attack. But he's not. He's only running 3. It could be because in the pulse is rising in price. He's also not maximizing his perfect guards, it seems. I mean, I'm just looking at this and going, that's 3 perfect guards. It's 3 nulls. Yeah, it's 3 nulls. It's not 4 nulls. Yeah, it's not 4 nulls. So quite interesting. He is running 4 heals though, so he hasn't gone full ham. But yeah, it's not maxed out. The other thing to note, his ride line is also strange. That's not the Flagberg ride line I know. It looks a lot like the Magnolia ride line, which is quite interesting. Again, right? You know, it gets free stuff. One of the problems with the Flagberg ride line is that you use basically a lot of soul, which I don't like. So people have been experimenting with other ways, like, you know, the Zorg one, but you know, this is the first Magnolia one I've actually seen, and then a bunch of other junky cards to kind of make you hit numbers. But you know, he's running 6 orders as well. You know, 2 Nectar, 4 Spiritual. I think the Spiritual is very, very good in Flagberg. I think people underrate it. You need cards that help you multi-attack, and then when you lose them, you cry. At least Spiritual lets you get them back, so it just makes the deck way more consistent. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that tech. So yeah, quite an interesting build. A Flagberg with the Magnolia ride line coming in second, not even running 4 nulls or 4 inlet pulses. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? Third place, we have another Gravidia deck. Not a Gravidia world, this is just pure Gravidia, right? So this one's running like 10 meteors, 4 super meteors. And yeah, the rest of the deck is just pure Gravidia, right? Pure Gravidia. And then in 4th place as well, we have another pure Gravidia list, right? Pure Gravidia list. So just kind of rounding out the last two in Block B, 2 Gravidias, which is quite interesting. Again, no Seraph Snows. No Bastions. Bastion was on the rise. It seemed like it was on the rise quite a bit. It was just, you know, kind of taking the dubs, being really fast, beating people down. None to be seen. And then also no Seraph Snows. No Seraph Snows. That's a big one, I think. Like, this format was pretty much just defined by Seraph, Magnolia, and Barrow Magnus to some extent. But so far, only Barrow Magnus out of the 3 was able to get some dubs. So pretty interesting. Looking at another VMC list here as well. This one was won by Ryo. Okay, so pretty well known name. But yeah, we can see just a Magnolia list. Finally, a Magnolia list. And I think a lot of, if you notice, is this a Zognolia list as well? But a lot of people are running this Zognolia lineup, and then just running Alanias. This is some tech that's been kind of been revealed a bit more. Just people running the Alanias to kind of push and rush, which is quite interesting. Second place was a Brandgate. So this was, again, another Gravidia deck. And then third place was Stoichea, so a Magnolia one here. And again, Zognolia list with 2 Spiritual and 3 Regurgitations, right? And then 4th was a Brandgate, which is, again, another Gravidia. No Seraph Snows. No Seraph Snows from both the WGP and the VMC. So that's kind of insane. And then lastly, let's look at a V result, right? So from the Japan TCG Center, we have the V Premium, or V Premium, VMC, won by a Gold Paladin. Now, there is quite possibly a ban list coming out, or a restriction list coming out in the product stream tomorrow, right? They do reveal restriction lists, at the product streams, and I think V is on everyone's radar right now. And we kind of look at the top 8 for this VMC tournament and kind of just point out the ones that are probably going to get some kind of hit, right? So Spectral Duke has been very, very popular in Japan. This is probably getting a hit, like, in this possible list that is coming. All right, so see you later. Dimension Police, not so much. I think this is quite fine. This was 2nd place, so pretty good. Then 3rd place, we had a Prism. This is definitely getting hit. This is super popular in the West, and now rising in popularity in Japan too. So pretty sure this is gone. And this is actually not just a pure Prism list as well. This is actually a Highlander build. So this has been like kind of a more modern build that, you know, has been taken inspiration from the Hong Kong WGP, as well as, you know, just, I guess, global results. This has been popping up, right? So pretty interesting. Even Japan's caught on to this as well, right? Again, this one, Astral Port. Astral Port has been out quite a while, but I don't think it's gonna hit. It's kind of okay. It's kind of okay, right? Then in 5th place we have is an MLB, right? MLB Sanctuary Guard. I think this is quite safe, so that's cool. And then in 6th place we have a Grand Blue. Grand Blue's a bit weird, right? This is a Night Rose build. But this one is not running navigators, I don't think. I don't really see the navigators unless I'm blind, but it's not. I think people have been thinking if everything else gets hit, Grand Blue probably needs a bit of a slap on the wrist because Navigator into Skull Dragon is quite good. This one, though, he's not running any navigators, so pretty crazy, right? 7th place, you have a Kagura. I think Kagura will kind of just be fine unless they really want to hit it because, you know, Japan still stands the cross quite a lot, right? Everyone else has moved on. Japan, though, kind of like this, so I don't know if they're gonna bother hitting this. Probably, I don't think it will. And then lastly, we have a Gear Chronicle. I think Gear Chronicle is quite safe. It's still a really good deck. It's definitely gonna get better as well. One of the best decks, I think, after a possible ban list. But yeah, should be nice. So yeah, that was a top 8 for the Japan TCG Center VMC. But yeah, I think we're still seeing a crazy amount of innovation when it comes to the standard metagame, which is quite crazy when you think about it. I think everyone just looks at standard and goes, wow, yeah, it's just over triggers. Right? Just over triggers. But still, in reality, there's still quite like a lot of the plays that you see that have topped these events too are quite consistent as well. Quite consistent. So it's not like just people sacking their way to the top, right? So overall, set 4 has been pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Has set 4 been really diverse for you guys, right? For you guys. And I'll see you guys definitely tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow, right? Bye.